Hi everybody, my name is Glenn Monroe and I'm the owner of Brain Diesel. And in this video, I want to do a review of Microsoft Bookings. Now, I'm going to tell you right off the bat what the final grade is. It's a D, and it's a really unfortunate D because this should be an A plus. Easy win for Microsoft. Not only an easy win, this should be glue that draws small businesses to purchasing business licenses instead of using Google Docs. This is a great piece of software potentially, but I watched the video by the Microsoft employee showing you how it works. That looks really cool. Then I tested it out and it fails at business. It's got a lot of good structure, it's got a lot of good ideas, but it's not good for business today, and that is a problem. I'm not doing this video to bash Microsoft. I'm not doing it to hurt them. I'm I'm going to mention some other software in passing as I go along, but it's not to endorse the other products. In fact, what I want is, what my ultimate goal is, Microsoft sees this video, sees the legitimate concerns I'm going to raise, and changes them. I think they'd be easy fixes too. And if they do that, then this becomes a glue product that I can use in my business and other businesses can too. So this is not to drum up any extra things that way. I'm going to talk about broad ideas, and I'm not sure the length of this video as I'm getting started, but I will chapter it at the bottom by each of the key points. So let's get going. First of all, let's start off with what's good about it, what's actually working for it, and why it's worthy of a video like this. It's easy to use when you get into the software itself overall, with some hiccups I'll hit later on, but most of it's pretty intuitive, that without any lessons you can figure your way out. Simple menus down the side broken into regions. You can put your own logo in there, put your own business information, set your hours by day, choose all that. That's all very easy to do. Links to your privacy policy, your terms and conditions. You can do all these kinds of things. Let's see if I'm missing anything there. No, your logo, what you do. Oh, and you can set your currency as well. So I'm in Canada, so you see Canadian dollars there. So you can do all of that. Then what you do is you can have staff. Now with staff, again, you can set schedules for staff by person. So this person only works noon to 8, this one works 8 to 4s, and you can do that. You can also create services, and the services, for instance, I've got one created here, but if I was a hair salon, I could have bookings for a coloring that takes 2 hours. I don't know how long the stuff takes. I'm making it up. Versus a mani-pedi, which is 45 minutes or something. So you could have your time slots. You can have how much time each product takes, so that's great. And you can decide who is capable of handling that service, which employees can take it on. So if you have somebody who does, if all your staff do haircuts, but you got one staff person who does mani-pedis and you got somebody else who does colorings, then you can set it up that way. You can decide as the business owner or administrator that, can the customer choose, I want a haircut by Sally, or you will assign people to it yourself, but you can decide, do you want the customer to decide or you to decide, and how that goes, which is pretty sweet. You can there's a calendar you can set here to see what's coming up, all of your bookings on it. I'm showing nothing because I'm not live with this right now. And you get your own booking page, and the booking page, let me open my booking page, show you what it's like. Here we go. So I have a product set up for 4 time slots in a day, and you can go to any day and they can book it themselves. They get sent a link, and you can choose to allow these things with little check boxes along the way, that it's now on their calendar, so they get reminders of it. That if something comes up in their world, they can change it on their own as well. So again, less management. Let them self-manage their jobs. So that's all there. That's all good. And there's even a checkbox in here that if this is my schedule for the 7th, that I'm available these 4, but all of a sudden you call me and we're going to have a lunch meeting from 2 to 4, or whatever. We're going to have a meeting in the afternoon from 2 to 4. When I put on my Outlook calendar, then my 1 and 3 o'clock appointments are no longer available because I'm in a meeting from 2 to 4. So the timing isn't perfect of it, but it's pretty good overall, and it links. This is all great stuff, and you can put it on Facebook. You can actually have a link on Facebook, so you can now drive your clientele to that. So there's a lot of good stuff here, and that's why I'm spending the time on this, because with all that good stuff, now let's get into where it falls apart. The first big issue is payment processing. You don't have it, and you need it. You have all the bones there for it. You've already asked me my currency, which I put under business information, and when I created a product, I set a price of it, in this case $2.99. Now I know you have other options there of starting at or price varies or whatever, but I chose the fixed price of $2.99. That's what I want to sell it at, if that's as an example. So if I have a set price and if I have a currency, then link it to PayPal, link it to Square, link it to Stripe, or whatever all the other companies are. I'm not trying to endorse any of them specifically. I would say PayPal have that for sure, as that's the McDonald's of all of them. But let's have some options there. Don't slow this down if Microsoft's creating their own payment process in the background because you want to slice of everything I sell. Like, really, you don't need that. We don't need that. And even if you have that, I still want PayPal because I don't want to have to deal with an extra account when it comes to my accounting. This is for small businesses overall, because large businesses aren't going to use this. Small businesses will. So keep it simple for small business owners. When I go to my booking page and you go in, it's just you pick the date, you pick the time, you answer a few questions, and then you hit book, and then it sends email. And it sends me an email, and it sends a customer an email. That's good. So all the functionality here is good. But give me a pay stop. Give me a PayPal intervention in there partway through. It really matters. And it matters not just because people want to get money. Now, realize this is for services overall in most cases. Maybe a hair salon that's going to use this, or if it's a dog groomer or something like that, maybe they don't care about this kind of thing. But if people are selling online services like coaching or training, any kind of consulting services, they got to get paid, and they're probably going to get paid up front every single time. So let's build that in here and have it. The other factor is that if you don't have a pay stop in there partway through, now you have exposed the world to what happened at Trump's rally. He got over 1 million hits of people requesting tickets. It was going to be the biggest thing ever. His first rally since the pandemic started. He booked outside space at expense, and all that kind of thing happened, and nobody showed up. Nobody showed up because it was the TikTokers of the world who went viral with it and decided to teach Trump a lesson and take that all away. While I do have my opinion of that, I want to get into you and your business. I think of a situation where uh, I saw a business recently. It was a wedding photographer, and she had refused a client service because they were a same-sex couple, and she didn't agree with that, or it was against her beliefs, or for whatever reason, that's what happened. A lot of people pounced on that, and it was just hate and vitriol. Her Facebook feed was filled with hate messages. Her reviews were 1 star, 1 star, 1 star, and it was just solid hate. And then people saying personal messages. I'm sure she got flamed in those as well. But they went to all of her pages and they killed her on that. And then I'm sure, I didn't check it out, but Yelp, she probably took a pounding on that as well. And that's what can happen when somebody gets targeted, when somebody does the wrong thing if they're guilty in the court of public opinion. Everybody piles on, and it's just nasty to them. And I'm not here to stand up for the photographer. I think it was a mistake. I think she should have gone ahead with it, or shouldn't have been. I don't think it should have been an issue. That's not where I'm coming from. My point is that the exposure is there, whether it's with anger and resentment towards anything, or simply bored kids in basements. But if anybody can go on and book your business solid, now paying customers that are getting turned away because, oh, it's too busy here, I'm going to go elsewhere. Random people coming by, too busy, go elsewhere. And now you're booking staff for people who aren't going to show up. Like, that can cost you money. Now you got to pay minimum wage, so staff, if you have staff. These are some real concerns. So there needs to be a payroll processing block there. Now, what you would probably want to do also, though, is include a feature under your customer side of a checkbox in here somewhere where I can check off that this customer can pay afterwards. Can pay later, pay by check, whatever. So if I'm going to deal business to business, for instance, and I'm talking to a business owner, I set them up with a login. I put that checkbox in if I choose to, and then they can go in because they're known by me. And I can have a checkbox in here to be known by me to allow those people to bypass that if I chose. And it's just another option, but it needs to be there. Otherwise, that's a big slam, in my opinion, against this. Otherwise, I got to find another way to collect the money. Now I'm managing 2 systems. This should not be requiring me to manage 2 systems. If I got to manage 2 systems, it's out. I'm currently using Bookio. Bookio has it all in one. And I'm not saying this to endorse Bookio. Bookio cost me $600 a year approximately to have that available. So please, Microsoft, save me $600 a year and give me the feature in here that we should have. In my previous section, what I didn't also mention was there's nowhere to put in a coupon code or any kind of discount code. So that's another factor that you would have with PayPal or something like that. But that brings me into pricing and the pricing concerns. This is the second big reason why the software is not usable. And you need to figure out these two things. The one I mentioned about having payment processing, but also what we're about to talk now about how pricing works and what people can buy. Right now, the way it's built, everything is a la carte. You want a haircut, you book it, done. You want your car washed, you book it, done. That's fine for companies that sell that way. But a lot of companies sell in bulk, sell in quantity purchases to give your customers better pricing. So this is a problem. Microsoft does this, by the way. You can purchase the Excel, Outlook, Word, and so on without all the extra apps like Bookings, or you could buy that's I think $11 Canadian a month, or $16 a month includes Bookings and Teams and all that stuff. You do bulk buys. You don't sell Excel separate from Word. You do it that way, Microsoft. Well, give it to us as well. Let us do these things. When I'm doing online training, I take my 3.5-hour training session and I split it into 2-hour and 45-minute segments. Well, there's no way for me to do that. So until we fix this, I cannot use you, because the only way I could do it is I could make the first one be $300 for 1 hour and 45-minute segment, and then I would give you a second one, which you could then manage yourself if you had to move it around. So I'll give you a second one free, the first one you pay for, and we're good. Now I'm already interacting with the software and I shouldn't have to do that. This is built to take me out of the equation and let the computer manage my revenue. So it's already too much work. But besides the too much work, then you have the concern of this. If I have a client who's going to pay me for the first session $300 for Friday, and then I'm going to give them a free session for the following Thursday. So that's great. But they can manage their own time if we set it up that way, which you'd want to have. That's one of your values. So they could take that second appointment, move it before the first appointment to the Wednesday before, and then they attend the Wednesday class, the free one. Then they cancel the Friday class. Now I'm out money. So that's an exposure. That's a big problem. I need to be able to sell bulk purchases. What I need to be able to do is sell things like how a university works, where you pay your tuition and then you have 6 credits and then you go pick 6 classes and then off you go and enjoy your classes. That's how this should work. That I can have that this product has a price of whatever. So there's my a la carte pricing as you have it. But I also have this product is a Class A product. And Class A products I offer a buy 4, get 1 free on. So I have for $800 you get 5 Class A credits and you can book classes with me whenever they fit. And something like that. Or how I want to do this one here, when you purchase the class, you get 2 Class A credits and choose your classes. So that's a factor. Now, get away from me and look at other businesses. Think about coaching. Coaching doesn't sell that. If you're going to hire a personal coach, you're not going to hire them for a single coaching session and you're fixed. You're going to find somebody who's going to work with you on a weekly or bi-weekly or periodic basis, recurring revenue kind of a thing for them, recurring time periods, because it takes a while. Like that's what you're looking for in a personal coach. This is a huge part of business. And no, that's not there. So these are the kind of things that people need to be able to see and do and work with in this way. The other factor is pricing. So while a la carte, let's say in my own personal business, I sell, when I have a half-day session, it's $199 for a seat. I do buy 3, get 1 free. So that's $600 roughly for 4 seats, which works out to $150 a seat. Once you get to that level, then the next class is $150, and the class after that's $150. I don't want to wait till you have enough and do that. I'd rather you just keep hiring me, and I keep getting paid because you're at that level. And then I have, I think it's 12 classes for $1,500, which is $125 a seat, and then they get $125 for every seat after that. This is how business works. I've been doing this for over 12 years. This is how I do my business all the time. And so why not have in here something like that I could sell a package? So my package is package A, It costs this much money. You get this many bookable credits, and then an optional checkbox that lets me flag the customer as level A. They're a bronze customer, silver customer, gold customer, whatever your terms are. It's up to the user really. And then so now John is on. John is a Class A customer. When John comes to my site and logs in, John sees Class A pricing. That's just an index match. This is solvable with Excel. Like this is just, you can do this. The guts are there in Excel. I know you can do it online as well. Just some kind of a lookup of who's the customer, what's their pricing level. Let's go to the product. They've got pricing for A, B, and C. And oh, this person's at that level. Bang, that's what they get. So you can customize the pricing by client, so people get preferred pricing, all happening automatically. Pre-sale credits, so people can do stuff like this. This would make this is the second of three things I'm going to talk about, and these are the two big ones. The third one's a cluster of admin things that you need to fix along the way. But if you got the payment processing taken care of and the ability to do combos, deals, anything like that, then this goes from a D to a solid B, and then the customization I'll show you in a minute would make you an A, but the B would get my business. Okay, I promised you I was going to get into the minutia, and that'll come next. But one more thing hit me while I was doing the editing of this video, so I'm going to throw this in there now. And what that is the ability to put an item that multiple people can buy. So, for instance, having the service could be a training. So let's suppose I have a training session. I'm thinking of classes as I'm somebody who offers classes. That if I could put a Tuesday from 1 to 4 o'clock, there's going to be a session, there's 20 available seats, go. And then people could, as many people who want to, could book seats. Or if I could have a client go in and set up a private session for them to go in and have the number of seats for their guests, and that way I can get all the names of who's attending it so I can do certificates or whatever I'm doing. But just a way, there's no way that for two people to book the same time with the same person based on availability. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. I don't have to create that 20 individual seats in a class. I'd rather have, here's a class, and it can be booked 20 times. So that's for me as a trainer, but it's not just trainers. I don't know, like there's got to be other people doing stuff like this where they're going to do an open house, or they got a speaker, but you can only go in certain sessions. So 20 people can attend session 1, 20 people can attend session 2, that kind of a thing. Trade shows where you're going to have breakout rooms with so many seats, and so you can book your, oh, I want to go, I want to attend track A and then track C, that kind of thing. So it can't be just me in training. This has to be a wider audience as well. But having that bookability, that would be solid as well, and that might fit in here. So that's that. Now let's roll into what I previously said is the minutia of stuff that's missing along the way, the backstage stuff that needs some cleanup. And let's go there now. To close this all off, there's a whole bunch of little small things in the background that need some polishing because it's very clunky. This yeah, so let's walk through what's missing there. First of all, for my services. When I go into my services, what you have is I can give it a length of time required, and then I can give it a buffer time before and or after if I wanted. So my goal was to set myself up for classes that were an hour and 45 minutes long and then a 15-minute gap. So now in an 8-hour day, I could have an 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and 3 o'clock, and each of those classes would last an hour and 45 minutes with some wrap-up time and some setup time for the next one to make my day work out. All right. Well, so I tried. But the buffering thing, putting a 15-minute buffer after each one, didn't work, because what that alone did, that let a client choose 10 o'clock, then let's try again, 9 o'clock, then they've got 9 to 11 booked. If I want an 8 and a 10 and somebody books 9 to 11 in the middle of that, I've lost half my potential revenue in my morning already. So that's a problem. So I couldn't do that in here that way. Also, there's realize that small businesses are using this, and there's no lunch hour feature. So what I had to do was I went in and down for this product, here's the availability. On Monday, 8 to 9:45, 10 to 11:45, 1 to 2:45, and 3 to 4:45. This is what I set up, and that will recur weekly, and that takes care of all my Mondays. So that was good. That was easy enough to, or well, no, we'll try again. That's not easy enough to do, but that's what I had to do. The 15-minute buffer didn't work for me. So that's how That's how the scheduling of this service works. So let me show you in a very painful process of how this happens. I scoot down here, and this is 8 to 12, 1 to 5. Well, I need 2 more sessions. I add them, these 2 more sessions, and this is going to hurt to watch a little because I can't go in here and make this be 9:45. I can't just type in a 9. That doesn't do anything. I've got to use a scroll bar to go find 9:45, and it's a scroll bar in 5-minute increments. So it takes a good old chunk of time to go find that 9:45. When this is 9:45, this doesn't become 9:45. I have to reset the start and the finish. Outlook always had this solved, that if I have a meeting at a certain length, if I move the start, it pulls or pushes the end. I don't have to set them independently. Why do I have to do that here? I shouldn't have to. So I'm going to go to my 10 a.m. start. There we go. And then I'll change this to 11:45 finish. And I'm getting bored doing it. I'm sure you're bored watching it. I'm not going to do the entire calendar for you. I do want to show you how painful this process is to fix a single day. As I make this one be a 12 o'clock start. And I'll make this be, oh, no, it's not 12, it's 1. My mistake. There we are, and 1. But this should be so much easier. Just make them typing fields and numeric fields or something. There's got to be an easier way than this. This is just, ugh. 1 to 2:45, and this can be 3 to 4:45. Let's go scrolling forward, and 3 to 4:45. So now I have to do that for 2 more days to make this all work, which I'm not going to do right now. But that's it. That's a real ugly workaround to make these services happen. So I've got that in place. That's that. You also have in here, just another clunk thing here, is your questions under modify. When you set it up, it looks like this to ask these questions, and I can choose required or not. That's good to have in, but it took me a while to realize that you have to click on these to turn them off. They're all on by default. I don't want these questions showing, even if they're not required, so you have to turn them off, but nowhere does it tell you just click to make them go away. It doesn't look like that. I got lucky with the click and figured that one out. So that's that. Let's hit OK. I'll save my changes there. Now on the let's see, my booking page. This is another one of these things that needs it's just an odd situation here. The coloring, you can give a color in the background, so I chose this one here. The reason I chose that color was because to try to set a custom color sucks. I don't know what this highlight color, like a numeric color, I don't even know what that is. It doesn't take hexadecimal colors. It doesn't take CYMK. It doesn't take RGB. Just give me an eyedropper. Just give me an eyedropper to go tick that little green and make that be my background color or something. But give me an eyedropper to choose a background color. I went to rgb.to to try to find a color to see what this name was, and it wasn't on the list, and that's all the site does is convert colors. So I don't know what the heck you're asking for here, but this is just ugly. I haven't tried the Facebook plugin to see how that works. So I cannot talk to that right now. And I guess the last thing is, again, under business information, setting my hours of operation. There's no way to close for an hour for lunch, which a lot of small businesses would likely do, that they wouldn't be booked solid all day long. So I have to change this to be at 8 to 12 and a 1 to 5 if that's how I want to operate my small business. If I'm open straight through, it's fine, but if I'm not, there's no, like, you have to set each time slot as you go. And again, same old clunkiness here. And then same thing as well when you're doing, and that clunkiness also comes into play when you're setting up your staff and your availability. If this person has custom availability, that's very clunky. So get rid of that those clunky issues there, and the color thing, which is a minor thing. That's what leaps to me in the backside. But we need the money. We need the ability to process cash through some PayPal or equivalent means, and we need give me the ability to sell bundles as you do, Microsoft. So until I can sell bundles or packages or memberships or something of that nature, can't use you. So you put a lot of work into something that basically right now, this to me is only really good for a company to use for internal purposes, which you have Outlook for. The only other way is if your company only sells a la carte and has no package deals of any sort. And if that's how you're running your business, I think that's a finite number of businesses that can use that. It's not the majority. So that's the end of this review. Don't believe the hype that you see from Microsoft about how great the software is, its potential, but there are some key flaws to it that needs addressing. Microsoft, I hope you're listening. I hope you take this seriously, and I really hope you make these changes so I can throw my business into this full turkey. Full turkey? We'll go with full turkey. Yeah. So I can throw my business in here and use it. If you like this review, if you like this video, if you like this kind of thing, then hit the buttons and subscribe and all that kind of thing. I will be reviewing all the other apps as I have a chance. But for now, this is Bookings. My name is Glenn Monroe, and thanks for watching, everybody. Bye now.